Sonia was tall, well-dressed, and carried a bright smile that instantly made her feel approachable. Her presence seemed to fill the small apartment with a sense of calm. The noodles smelled delicious, Sonia complimented. It was a sunny Saturday morning and the aroma of spices filled the air. As Amaka stirred the pot of Indomie noodles in her kitchen, her two children, Toby and Ada, played in the living room, their laughter echoing through the small apartment. Life had been simple but joyful for Amaka. Her husband Emeka worked abroad and was due to return home in few days. She was counting down the days with excitement, imagining how happy the reunion would be. Amaka had recently met a woman named Sonia in an online parenting group. The group was a space for mothers to share advice and experiences, and Sonia had quickly stood out with her thoughtful comments and helpful suggestions. Sonia seemed warm and kind, sharing tips about motherhood and even offering to visit Amaka when she learned to live in the same city. For Amaka, who often felt isolated as a stay-at-home mom, felt Sonia's friendliness was going to be a breath of fresh air to her and a company. It felt good to connect with another woman who understood the challenges of raising young children. When Sonia arrived that morning, Amaka was pleased to find her just as pleasant in person as she had been online. Sonia was tall, well-dressed, and carried a bright smile that instantly made her feel approachable. Her presence seemed to fill the small apartment with a sense of calm. The noodles smelled delicious, Sonia complimented, stepping into the kitchen where Amaka was cooking. "Thank you," Amaka replied, handing Sonia a glass of water. "I hope you don't mind. I was just preparing something for the kids. They are always hungry at this time of the day." "Not at all," Sonia said, her eyes moving towards the children, who were now playing with their toys in the living room. "They are adorable, Toby and Ada, right?" Amaka nodded with a proud smile. "Yes, my little angels. Toby is 6 and Ada just turned 4 last month." As they spoke, Sonia's attention was genuinely focused on the children. She asked about their favorite snacks, their routines, and even their school. Her interest felt genuine, and Amaka found herself opening up more about her life, her struggles, and her dreams for her family. "Why don't I take them to the corner shop to buy some biscuits while you finish cooking?" Sonia suggested suddenly. "It will give you a moment to breathe. I know how exhausting it can be to juggle everything up all by yourself." Amaka hesitated. She rarely let her children out of her sight, especially with someone she had just met in person. But Sonia's suggestions seemed so thoughtful, and the shop was just down the street. "All right," Amaka said finally, "but please don't be long. They're not used to being out without me." "Of course," Sonia said with a reassuring smile. "Come on, Toby and Ada, let's get some treats." The children's eyes lit up as they eagerly followed Sonia out of the door. Amaka watched them leave. A small pang of unease in her chest. She shook it off, telling herself she was just being overprotective. After all, Sonia had been nothing but kind and helpful. She returned to the kitchen to finish preparing the meal, glancing occasionally at the clock. Minutes turned into an hour, and the unease in Amaka's chest grew into a knot of fear. She picked up her phone and called Sonia, but it went straight to voicemail. Her heart began to race as she called again and again, each unanswered ring deepening her panic. Amaka ran out into the street, calling out for her children. She stopped neighbors and shopkeepers, frantically describing Sonia and the kids, but no one had seen them. She searched every corner of the neighborhood, her desperation growing with each passing minute. By the time she returned home, her legs were trembling and her mind was spinning with fear. When Emeka arrived home later that evening, Amaka was a wreck. Her face was filled with tears and her voice trembling as she explained what had happened. She had already been to the police station, filed a report, and retraced every possible step Sonia could have taken with the children, but there was no trace of them. Emeka's face turned pale as he listened. "You let a stranger take our kids?" he asked, his voice shaking with a mix of anger and despair. Amaka broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. "She seemed so genuine, Emeka. I trusted her. I thought she just wanted to help. I never imagined." Her words cut off, choked by her tears. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, but there was no sign of Toby and Ada. The police effort yielded nothing, and Sonia's online profile turned out to be fake. It was as if she had vanished into thin air, taking the children with her. The reality was crushing. Their children were gone, and they had no idea where or why. The parents were lost. The whole incident that took place in their household was so confusing and unexplainable. Amaka's life fell apart. The once warm and lively home became a place of silence and sorrow. She stopped cooking, stopped smiling, and spent her days staring at her children's photo. Their toys lay untouched in the living room, a haunting reminder of their absence. Emeka struggled with his own grief, but he couldn't hide his anger. "How could you trust someone you barely knew?" he asked one night with a sudden burst of anger. The question hung in the air, heavy with blame and pain. Amaka's guilt was overwhelming. She replayed that fateful morning in her mind endlessly, wondering what she could have done differently. She withdrew from the world, avoiding friends and family, unable to face their pity or judgment. Years passed, but the pain never lessened. The police eventually closed the case, citing that there was no trace of Sonia. Amaka's heart remained heavy with guilt and regret. The woman who had appeared to be so kind had turned her life into a nightmare, and her children's absence was a wound that would never heal. The story of Amaka, Toby and Ada became a cautionary tale in their community. People spoke of the dangers of trusting strangers, even those who seemed genuine. Schools and parenting groups began emphasizing on the importance of vigilance and caution. For Amaka, the loss was a constant reminder of the fragility of trust and the devastating consequences of one moment of misplaced faith. She lived the rest of her life haunted by that day, her home filled with memories of the children she would never see again. And though the world moved on, Amaka's heart remained frozen in time, a testament to the depth of her mother's love and the unbearable weight of her loss. Guys, I hope you learned a lot from this true story. Mothers especially, do not entrust your children into the hands of strangers or someone you just met. That's a very wrong thing to do. I know sometimes we need this little help from people, but we cannot be so sure about who is who. May God always protect our children from such people. Trust me, you can't bear the loss of one child, talk more of two children. A really sad story, right? Moral lessons. First, trust should be earned, not assumed. Be cautious about placing trust in strangers, no matter how kind or genuine they may seem. Time and consistent behavior are essential to build trust. Secondly, parental vigilance is crucial. As a parent, your instincts are your first line of defense. Always trust your gut feelings, especially when it comes to your children's safety. Thirdly, online connections require extra caution. While online relationships can lead to meaningful friendships, be aware of the risks of meeting people from the internet and also bringing them into your home. Fourth, the lasting impact of decisions. Little decisions made can have life-altering consequences. Always think carefully about the potential risks of your decision before making a choice that involves your family's safety. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share so that others would also benefit from this interesting tale. And mind you, this is a true life story. Make sure to subscribe to get more stories like this one. See you on my next one. Thank you.